Everybody, welcome to another episode. I wanted to cover something really quick. Recently, when I was out and about walking through the store, I ran into the Kishi V2, and I watched a couple of videos, and they were like, "Oh, They had mixed feelings on if you should actually buy it and upgrade from the V1, which is what I have here attached to my OnePlus." And I decided to buy it spontaneously and test it. I've had it for a couple of days now, and I have some positive and negative feelings about it. And the majority of the negative is mostly because of the money. Personally, I already have the V1, as you can see here, and I've done a video on it probably a year ago or so, and I'm a pretty big fan. Once you put it together here, you take it. You can put it together and lock it in place. It's very portable, right? And when you open it up, all you have to do is twist. Opens right up. Take my OnePlus here, put it in, click, and I'm ready to go. And it is in Xbox format, which you really need for most games. I'm not doing retro gaming personally. I thought about doing retro gaming, but I'm not. I'm actually using GeForce Now. And sometimes on a very, very rare occasion, I'm doing Stadia. But mostly I'm doing GeForce Now because I have that subscription and most of my games are on Steam. And hopefully, eventually, we will see Blizzard start bringing their titles to some type of cloud format, whether it is Game Pass, GeForce Now, Stadia, one of those. I know at one point we thought they left GeForce Now to go to Stadia, and we're obviously seeing that that's not the case. I think you can do it on Shadow, but I don't know much about Shadow. I was actually thinking recently I might want to check that out in place of GeForce Now because it's just a PC that you own. Because I would really love to not be restricted to the games that they allow. But GeForce Now is just so easy to use. I've talked about it a couple years ago in some videos. Nothing's changed outside of they continue to add to it and there's more tiers. I still have the Founders 6-month tier, and that's what I use. But what I'm going to do really quick is we have the Razer V2 here, and I'm going to open this up really quick right here on screen. And like I said, I've already messed around with it, and you'll obviously notice firsthand that it's basically the backbone, and that's what I noticed. It's basically Razer just went and took the backbone design, or whoever made the backbone, which I know there was a different company that made this. It wasn't even Razer. You could buy it as a Razer device, and now you can buy it as something else. And there's a V2 version of that. And you have the GameSir and multiple things out there now. But with this one, it's it's all stretchy and everything. On the top, you're going to notice that there's 6 total buttons. You have your left, your right. They feel okay. I really don't like how small and clicky the L1 or R1 are. Then you also have what they call the M2 and M1, which is like your modifiers. I guess you map those any way you want. But on the front, the keys, the actual buttons here, as you can see, are a bit smaller than what you're going to see on the, if I can get them both on screen, what you're going to see in the V1. Now, it feels like that the V2 is a little more like the Switch, which I had for a short period, and I'm not really, I can understand why people like the touchpad, the arrow key. It's a little clickier, but I do not like the buttons. I do not like the clicky buttons. You can hear that versus the pressing here, right? And I can understand why they don't like the touchpad. The touchpad is very mushy. But I definitely like, if you look at the top, the L1 and R1 are larger. And there's no modifier mapping button. Now I assume the mapping button would have its own functionality. But when you look here, see, this is the actual Xbox version. You notice it has the X there and all the key buttons from the actual Xbox controller. And then they're both USB-C. Now, as far as I know, they're not fast charge and there's no video pass-through or data pass-through. Somebody can correct me if that has changed with some type of firmware update. Again, I haven't even installed the app for this. I literally just wanted to test it out. One of the things I do like about this, though, other than the touchpad, what is it? I can never remember the name of that. The button here. D-pad. All right, is the D-pad. This is definitely slimmer. So here is the V2 on my OnePlus. It is definitely slimmer. And in my hands, I really like it. I have not tested it yet, but I'm going to try to test this before I return it because I'm more likely going to return it. And there's a couple of reasons for that I'll cover in a second. But I think it might actually fit inside of a Switch case. And if that's the case, I might actually consider keeping it. Just because that's really what I've been thinking about. I don't know why I want to do it that way, but realistically, that's what I'm using my OnePlus for. This is more than a powerful enough phone. It's got this, what is it, the 855 Plus, the 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, and a 90 hertz AMOLED display. So it's more than enough. It's not as nice as my Ultra that I'm filming on right now, but it actually fits in here. The Ultra does too, but it's much tighter, and I actually had to take the clips out of here. When you open up the box here, oh, there's my battery. You'll see that there's these two little clips inside that you can put on and take off for larger and smaller phones. But to keep the case on, you have to do it the other way. I also had to take it off because on the back, I actually have the MagSafe attachment for the 7T, which makes no sense because there's no wireless charge at all. And I haven't taken it off. I was going to return it because it's so thick, but I really just leave it on there because I actually have a back skin on there. It's just like this touch skin to keep it safe, and which didn't do much, if you can see where that break is right there. But if you take it off, it'll peel the whole thing off. But anyways, back to the review. I am going to test I'm going to go by the store either today or tomorrow, and I'm going to check and see if this fits inside of a Switch Lite case or a Switch OLED case. If that's the case, I may actually keep it. However, I don't think it's worth the money. And I really don't like the ABXY. They're so small versus the V1. And realistically, I also like the slightly more compact design for travel. I was looking yesterday, I didn't grab it, but I was looking at one of those hard drive cases to carry this around in. Since I don't have a case where I can fit them together in. So that's kind of like the conundrum I'm in right now. Is I know it's something stupid, but the way I pack these inside of my EDC bag, I don't really like them being separate, honestly, because I want this to be a fully dedicated device. And one of the things I'm going to be coming up soon when I have some free time is I'm going to try to see if I can find a launcher that's specifically for gaming, and we'll cover just GeForce Now. I know there's some out there. I just haven't taken the time to really mess around with it too much. I did have the Android TV launcher on the S9 that that's currently in the drawer. I'm not messing around with, but I want something a little different. I want it to stay that way all the time. I want to turn off notifications. I don't want to get anything from Discord or anything. I literally just want to get on here and game and be left alone. I want it to be my Zen time. So tell me what you guys think. Like I said, the main things I don't like about this, I don't like that it doesn't fold up. I don't like the buttons, the ABXY. I really don't like any of the buttons outside of the D-pad and the size. That's literally it. But again, of course, that is 100% subjective. Like most reviews, I tell people all the time, it's really up to you and your day-to-day life. No one should buy anything just because it's popular or because somebody else did it. They should do it because they want to, and this is just more information for you to decide. If you could get the V1 a bit cheaper than this at $100, and I think I got this for like $50 or $49 when I bought it, I think last summer. This is definitely a better buy. Again, compact. I think the ergonomics are a little better. This does have a grip and it's a little fatter at the bottom, but I still think the ergonomics on this are more than enough because I can stick my fingers in the back here, and the fact that the buttons are a little bit fatter and wider and easier to get my fingers on. It may not be great for the hands as much as this is, but the fact that the placement for my fingers, that comes in handy. I just want to do a quick video on this. I may do a short later with the camera pointing down of me using them both in GeForce Now, but I'll have to find some time to do that because as you can see behind me, I have a bunch of kids, and it's a busy day every day with having so many boys. Everybody, thank you for stopping by and spending 10 minutes with me. This actually went a lot longer than I wanted it to. I know it was a ramble, but going forward, I'm going to try to get as many videos out about everything I want to talk about as possible. Most of them a lot will probably be in vlog format, and just talking and get as quickly as I can without needing to go over a million things to be ready for the video. I just want to get the videos out so we can actually have the conversation in the comments. Tell me what you guys think. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. See you later. Oh, guess what we're going to do here? Goodbye.